There is a self-help lie Christians are falling for, and it sounds holy, but it's heavy. It sounds like try harder, do more, fix yourself, optimize everything, prove you are serious. And if you don't catch it early, it turns your faith into a performance and your life into pressure. If you're a Christian and you've been feeling this, you're doing all the right things, but you don't feel peace. You're productive, but you're tired inside. You feel guilty when you rest. You feel like you're always behind. You keep chasing growth spiritually, emotionally, physically, but feel empty. You want to hear this clearly. You're not failing at faith. You might just be carrying a mindset that was never meant to lead your life. That's it. How's it? I'm Cordelo. I'm a neuro coach. I help people change the patterns that keep repeating, like burnout cycles, anxiety loops, perfectionism, people-pleasing, shame, and that feeling of I should be further than where I am right now. And today, we're going to expose the one pattern that's becoming extremely normal, especially in the Christian world, because it's packed or packaged as discipline and wisdom, but it often produces the opposite of what Jesus produced, which is peace. In this video, I'm going to show you what the self-help lie actually is, the 3 signs you caught in it without realizing, why your nervous system makes this trap feel necessary, how to reset without throwing away growth and discipline. No excuses, no pressure, just truth and a better way forward. Let's pause there quickly. If you're listening and thinking, okay, that's me, I love God, but my life feels like pressure and I don't know how to get out of it, that's exactly what we do in my free sessions. We map your stress patterns, the beliefs that's driving your overthinking, and the emotional loop that keeps you stuck. Then we choose a simple path forward that fits real life. The free session link is in the description down below. And make sure to hit that subscribe button while you're at it, because in this channel, we don't just talk about mindset, we talk about the nervous system and the patterns underneath your choices. Right. Let's expose the lie. Here's the self-help lie Christians are falling for. If I just improve myself enough, I'll finally feel okay. It sounds harmless, right? But here's what it does over time. It quietly moves your dependence from God to you. And then your soul starts living under this pressure. It's all on me. More effort, more input, more achievements, more routines, more books, more productivity. And you know what's wild about this? You can do all of that and still feel empty or godless, because the human heart doesn't settle for doing more. It settles from safety, connection, and truth. Let me explain why this trap is so effective. Your nervous system loves control. When life feels uncertain, your brain tries to regain control by doing more. If I plan more, I'll be safe. If I learn more, I'll be safe. If I improve more, I'll be safe. So self-help becomes a coping strategy, not because you're sinful, because you're a person. But the moment self-help becomes your safety, it becomes your functional savior. And then rest feels unsafe. Peace feels like laziness. And grace starts feeling like you don't deserve it. That's when self-help becomes toxic for Christians. Now, let's get practical. Here are the 3 warning signs that you're caught in the self-help lie. Sign number 1, your faith becomes content, not connection. This would look like you consume a lot of spiritual content. You know a lot of information. You watch sermons, podcasts, clips, but you feel distant inside. Your faith becomes something you consume instead of something you live. And it's subtle. because it feels like you're doing something good. But if your heart is not being restored, something is off. I worked with a client of mine once, let's call him Michael. Michael loves God, no question. But he treated faith like a productivity project. He had routines, trackers, goals, systems, but he didn't feel peaceful. He said something that hit me hard during one of our sessions. I'm doing all the Christian stuff, but I don't feel close to God. Why? Because he was trying to earn safety through effort, not receive peace through surrender. Now, this one is massive. You might be doing well on paper, career, growth, fitness goals, income improving, habits improving, but inside you feel tense. You can't switch off. Your mind races at night. You feel guilty when you rest. That's not discipline. That's a nervous system stuck in activation. And it can happen to Christians everywhere because we start calling it being responsible. But if you have high output and low peace, you're not thriving, you are surviving. Let's talk about one of my clients, Sarah. Sarah is a Christian mother. She wants to do the right thing by her children all the time. She's trying to be a great mom, to be a great wife, to stay fit, to keep the home running, to grow spiritually, maybe even start a side hustle so she can help her husband with finances. So she started waking up earlier, following productivity advice, stacking new habits. But her peace got worse, not better. She told me during one of our sessions, I feel like God is always disappointed in me. That wasn't God. That was pressure. That was performance faith. This is when your relationship with God turns into a to-do list. You start measuring your day by, did I do my devotions? Did I pray enough? Did I read enough? Did I succeed at my routine? And if you miss it, you don't just say, I missed it. You feel like you actually failed God. That's not fruit of the Spirit. That's shame disguised as discipline. I'll never forget one of the leaders I coached. He cared deeply about people. He served, he gave, but he never rested. And because he never rested, he became irritable, very irritable. Then he turned completely numb, then disconnected. And he felt guilty for it. He said to me that he knew the truth, but he couldn't live it anymore. That's a nervous system problem, not a knowledge problem. So if you ever felt busy but empty while trying to live your faith, hit that like button because you're not alone. You're not crazy. Now, let's be balanced. Self-help isn't automatically evil, but here's the rule. Self-help is a tool. It's a terrible savior. So how do you keep the tool without worshiping it? Principle 1, you grow to serve, not to prove. If growth is fueled by proving your worth, you will never feel finished. But if growth is fueled by love, it becomes lighter. Principle 2, motivation is not your master. If you only do well when you feel inspired, you'll live unstable. You'll have an unstable life. So we don't rely on motivation. We rely on a simple structure and grace. Principle 3, your body must be included in your faith. Now, this one is huge. You cannot keep telling yourself, I should have peace, while living in constant activation, as in your nervous system is activated. If your nervous system is constantly stressed, you can pray all day and still feel like you're drowning. So, part of spiritual maturity is learning. How do I live the way that produces peace? Not fake peace, real peace. And then principle 4, your life must have margin. If your calendar has no margin, your soul has no breathing room. Margin isn't laziness, margin is wisdom. Now, here's the reset that doesn't involve you throwing away growth. Reset step One, stop letting pressure drive your spirituality. Pressure produces performance, and performance produces burnout. Reset step two. Ask the honest question. What am I trying to earn? Because a lot of people are trying to earn worth, approval, safety, identity. And when you stop trying to earn it, you can finally breathe. Reset step three. Choose peace over image. You don't need to look strong. You need to be well. Reset step four. Let growth be fruit, not forced. Forced growth is brittle. Fruits grow from health. This is the difference between striving and becoming. And if you want help with this, because it can be hard to spot your own patterns, book my free session. The link is in the description. We'll map what's driving your stress, your perfectionism, people pleasing, your fear, shame, the control that you strive for. And we'll build a plan that fits your real life. And if you want weekly support without pressure, I also run a weekly stress and frustration release group session. So let's finish off with this. The self-help lie Christians are falling for is not read a book or be productive. It's believing you can carry your life through self-reliance and call it faith. You were never meant to live with that weight. You were meant to live with peace, steadiness, purpose. So if you've been trapped in performance, in other words, trying to show what a good Christian you are, this is the motivation to come back to what matters. Not more pressure, more presence. And remember, if this video helped you in some way, hit that subscribe button and tell me your story in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And remember to book my free session if you want help breaking all these loops. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.